Okay, this is the second homework circuit for the Arduino course. And here we've got 8 different LEDs connected to different pins. It's pins 2 through 9. As you can see, they're blinking nicely in a sequence here. Let me show you why with the code. First of all, we've got an array to hold each pin. As you can see, each position has a different pin number and represents a different LED. And then we're going to define each of these pins for integers 0 through 8 as an output. And that's just to set up, to kind of get our parameters set. And in this code, in this experiment, there are 4 different loops, 4 different codes. And we can switch between them by indicating that they're either a comment or an active function. That's the word I was looking for, function. So we have 4 different functions, so we can turn them on and off and leave them all in the same string of code without worrying about them conflicting with one another. So the first one is called one after another no loop. Sounds like there should be a hashtag there. And we've got a delay time of 100 milliseconds, which can be adjusted for the length of how long they're going to be lit up. And this one requires the most typing because we're activating one pin at a time, so I'm going to turn each one on in sequence. So starting with 0 going all the way through 7, we're going to first make the first one high or on, wait for the set amount of time, go to the second one, turn it on high, and on until the last one. Alright, so the lights turn themselves off in the opposite order, starting with 7 and going through 0, and that operates in the same way that they turn on, with low indicating the off position, one after the other with the set delay time. So that is a summary of the first function that we have in this line of code. And this is what it looks like. So you can see pins 1 through 7 lighting themselves up. Or 0 through 7 rather, because there's 8 of them. And yeah. And then they turn themselves off backwards. The next function, if I can focus my camera at all, there, it's readable. So the next loop has the same delay time, except this time, instead of writing out all of these, we're just going to define integers 0 through 7 and activate each LED pin depending on what it's called, which number represents it, and turn it on and set the delay time, and then turn it off and set the delay time. And for the on, as you can see, it starts with 0 and goes to 7, and for the off it starts with 7 and goes to 0. So if you'll notice, when we activate this second function known as one after another loop and upload it, it does the same thing. Pause, start, yep, does the same thing. It's the same code, except it takes up a lot less space. The third one is kind of a different pattern. This one is called one at a time, and it will light up one LED at a time. Imagine that. So this one has the same delay time. and it's gonna start with 0 and go to 7 like the last one. And this off LED indicator has I minus 1, so it's going to calculate which one was turned on last time, and if it equals 0, how do I say this? Basically, it's going to decide which one was turned off or turned on last, and use that to decide which one will be turned on next, and it will, turn them on one after the other. So down here, once again, it will write to whichever pin it's on, the high position, for number I, if you will, and then it will write off LED pin, so it will turn off the pin depending on which one was lit last for the set delay time. So let's turn that on and see what it looks like. We're going to turn on, off, one after another loop, turn on, one at a time, and upload it. And voila, only one at a time. Okay, so for the final function out of the 4 in this code, what it's going to do is run the LEDs from the inside to the outside, so it'll light up 2 at a time. So we're going to set this from I equals 3, I equals 0, because when we go down here for LED 1, we're going to write 3 minus I, because if you look at both ends of that, that's going to light LED 3 when I equals 0 and LED 0 when I equals 3. So on one side, that's going to have this one on to this one. And then for the other side, it's got LED 2 is always going to be 4 plus I, because that means that when I equals 0, LED 4 is lit, and when I equals 3, LED 7 is lit. So because we've got 2 different ones, and they're set up that way, that means that it starts with 3 and 4 being lit, and goes out to 1 and, or to 0 and 7. This section here just does what the last one does and indicates when to turn off the previous one, depending on which one was lit last. So we've got LED 1 and LED 2 defined, and this one just indicates we need to turn off LED 1 and 2, whichever one was turned on the last time. So, and then it writes the LED 1 and LED 2 to high, depending on how they're defined by I, and does the same thing for the off position or low, LED 1 and LED 2. So it's really blurry. And it has a delay of the set delay time. So that is the final of the 4 functions in circuit 2, which once again is called in and out. So we're going to go up here to where we turn the functions on and off. We're going to turn the last one into a comment, and then we've got in and out activated, and we're going to upload that to the Arduino, which is not plugged in. Brilliant. Ha, now it's plugged in. Okay, so we're still on the previous one here, see? We're gonna upload in and out. And there you have it. It's gonna just swivel back and forth like that. And that, the long and short of it, but mostly the long, is circuit number 2.